important things to make sure that we're all on the same wavelength, making sure we're doing the right thing. With this COVID-19, there's a lot of crazy stuff coming up. We're trying to get that vaccine, but there's a lot of things that we could be doing within ourselves as well as our family, and hopefully this information will really help you out as well as your friends and loved ones. First of all, I'm a big person when it comes down to colorful fruits and vegetables. If you don't eat a lot of colorful fruits and vegetables, start doing it right now. Those carotenoids are powerful antioxidants, and those powerful antioxidants really keep the immune system strong. And that's extremely important. So you want to make sure you're getting your antioxidants. Zinc is another big thing. We notice that when we get colds, but this goes with the immune system, helping those killer T cells get to work to fight off those pathogens, those invaders that's trying to get in your system. So whenever you feel a little depleted, make sure those zinc foods, if you're not eating them, supplement with anywhere from 20 to 50 milligrams of zinc a day. It will really boost up your immune system. This is something that a lot of people who have infections, particularly pneumonia or lung problems, and obviously the COVID-19, it seems to affect that lungs, but a very important thing to get on to is that zinc. Zinc is extremely healthy. Well, let me go over a couple things. They talk about the immunity versus A, C, D, and E. If you're eating a good, well-balanced diet of fruits and vegetables, fish, maybe chicken, or if you're a vegetarian and you're getting a good broad spectrum of nutrients, I really think that you're going to cover most of these vitamins. But a few important things I wanted to bring out. Vitamin C is extremely important. Even those people who are looking to build collagen in their body, your beautiful skin, your pretty nails, your hair, which I can't talk about much of me, but vitamin C is probably the number one easiest water-soluble vitamin to take when it comes down to really helping the body produce collagen. So if you're looking for that beautiful skin and you're having problems, maybe you're breaking out with acne, or you're having some skin discomfort or changes, let me just tell you, vitamin C is extremely important, as well as zinc together. The other thing, I want to mention one very important thing that they say 1 billion, imagine 1 billion amount of people throughout the world are deficient in vitamin D. Now, some ways to get our vitamin D, obviously, are our fatty fishes, our cod liver oil, our salmon, sardines, our tuna, shiitake mushrooms, or egg yolks if you eat eggs. Now, you're going to get fortified vitamin D in like cereals and yogurts and orange juices and cheeses, but vitamin D is really important. The problem is that many people think about 500-600 IU's of vitamin D is okay. No, the problem with vitamin D is that those who are on medication, maybe blood pressure medication or different types of meds, you may have adverse changes where you're not assimilating vitamin D. And the biggest problem with vitamin D that people take is they're not taking it with a fat soluble food or another fat soluble vitamin. So make sure that when you take your vitamin D, and it's always good to take your vitamin D with calcium, because vitamin D helps calcium get into the bones. But vitamin D must be taken along with another fatty food, because it's not going to assimilate. So if you're taking, let's say, 1,000 or 2,000 IU's of vitamin D, and you're taking on an empty stomach, guess what? It's not getting into your system, and you're going to be deficient. So I take anywhere between 3 to 5,000 IU's a day. Sometimes I'll take 10,000, depending upon it, because the problem is the best place to get your vitamin D is the sun. And as we get older, not many people spend enough time in the sun. Obviously, people will complain that I'm fair-skinned, or I have a tendency to get skin cancer. But vitamin D is extremely important. I'm telling you that vitamin D will kick up your immune system, help those killer T cells, help those lymphocytes to do its job. Because listen, regardless of what flu or cold you catch or what virus you catch, I'm a big believer that if you have a strong immune system, you're going to be fighting the majority of this off. Remember, the worst three things that we can do with this COVID-19 virus, this coronavirus, is to touch our mouth, our nose, or our eyes. That's where the mucous membranes are at. So that's how we get this virus, or obviously airborne. But I think that a lot of the countries, including ours right now, are wearing masks most of the time. I don't know how long they're gonna make us wear it, but I think that everyone should wear it because we're going to prevent those who are sick, because the majority of people who have this coronavirus are asymptomatic. So the young person who has a coronavirus may not have any symptoms but a little sniffle. But guess what? If they're coughing or sneezing or touching things after they touch their mucous membranes and touch things, and people are touching it, they're touching their face, you can get it very easy. Now, here is the key thing. This is really important. Um, when you look at the strength of this virus, we know that the virus can last up to 72 hours on like hard surfaces, cardboard up to 24 hours. Uh, but the bottom line is that if we're touching a doorknob, we're touching something that's hard and we pick up that virus, the longer that virus has been sitting there, the weaker the load is. So the weaker the load, that means when we touch our mucous membranes, we're going to have a harder time catching that virus because the load is weaker. So people just look at the virus as, okay, touch the virus, touch my mucous membranes, I'm getting sick. No, no, no. When it depends upon the viral load, how much of that load that is going into your membranes. But the reason why we want to keep our immunity strong, and I want, children out there, teenagers who are in the chat room right now, I want you to share this with your family, share this with your mother and father and grandmother and your loved ones, because this is really important information. And I'm giving you the tip of the iceberg here, that the stronger we keep our immune system, the less apt we're going to get sick, period. I don't care. How many people right now have the antibodies right now to the virus? Hundreds and hundreds, who knows if it's millions. Okay, now unfortunately, most people are not checking antibodies right now, but they're eventually going to, because by checking antibodies, we're going to know if you got sick or not. And then we know if you got the antibodies, there is still not a lot of clarity of saying that you can't catch it for the second time. But there's a lot going on right now. Now, children who are catching it, they're finding other problems where it's affecting different areas. Here in South Florida, I saw a couple children became very sick. One crossed the blood-brain barrier, problems with the brain, another one with the heart. So there's a lot of people out there who say, just screw it. But there's a lot of people who have died from this. Now, how many directly have died directly from the virus versus other side effects that they may have, other conditions within them? Like, they might have had between high blood pressure, diabetes, or other autoimmune diseases. Obviously, if you have any other type of weakness, you're going to be more susceptible to get sick. I don't care what virus it is. But we still have to be respectful, because if you catch something and you're giving it to someone who has a weakened immune system, it's not a really nice thing. So let me go into a couple of other simplistic things. Those people are not getting enough sleep. This is the time to do it because we have more time. Sleep is so important. Sleep, you may be thinking, why do we need to sleep? You sleep because your cells are dying. And during the day, your cells are dying. And what happens is when you get on that bed and your cells are starting to repair, now you're starting to heal, because the cells need to heal and repair. They need to turn over. So you need to make sure you get your sleep, because if you're not getting your proper sleep and you are eating right and you are you are exercising and you are getting hydrated and you're taking all the nutrients, you're getting all the right phytonutrients, and you're getting all the carotenoids, and you're doing everything correctly, but you're not sleeping, that's not going to be cool. That's not a good idea. So really try to make sure you get your sleep. I will try to answer a few questions in just a minute. Okay, but this was one of the reasons why I came on, because I'm getting a lot of emails asking questions about the coronavirus. I understand that there's a lot of stuff out there, so I'm really trying to get the nuts and bolts for you. But the main thing is still stress reduction. I still think that deep meditative breathing is extremely important, kicking in the parasympathetic nervous system, allowing the nervous system to get strong to allow the body to secrete more endorphins. Try to relinquish that negative stuff you're hanging on to. Try to just put more gratitude into your life. Don't think like you're missing out on anything. Just be grateful for what you have, and that will really help you out tremendously. So stress reduction is a big thing because if you're still feel like you're under a lot of stress, and right now is a very stressful time for a lot of people because financially, I have a lot of dear friends worldwide, in the Philippines, in Thailand, in Vietnam, uh, throughout the world, where the government is not really helping the people out much. But just try to stay strong right now. That is extremely important. Okay, want to drink. Anything on acid reflux? Okay, let's go for a couple questions and we'll go for that right now. But I hope that was some good information for you. I hope that you learned a little bit just to kind of give you some highlights. Let me talk a little bit about acid reflux. The biggest problem with acid reflux is mixing our foods incorrectly, eating too much, drinking too much with your food. If you are one like most of us, we like to drink a lot as we're eating, we dilute enzymes. When we dilute enzymes, the food sticks around a lot longer within our stomach. The transit time sticks around as it doesn't make its way into the intestine. The other problem is people who are eating too late. If you're eating too late and you're lying in a horizontal position, you can get reflux up into the area. But I'm a big believer in warmth. Chamomile tea relaxes the smooth muscle. Lemons, even though they're acidic on the outside, it becomes alkaline on the inside. Lots of water, a lot of hydration. Warmth is extremely good for the gastrointestinal tract. So just make sure you're trying to eat at least 2 to 3 hours before you lie down. And if you're eating late, if you're getting acid reflux, try to lie down in a little inclined position. Okay, let's see if I can grab a few questions from you. I see some people are asking some other people questions. ACV, yeah, apple cider vinegar, extremely good. Some people have a hard time taking it down, but the key thing with apple cider vinegar is you don't want to drink it straight up. Dilute it, because if you don't dilute it, it can do a lot of problems with the teeth, and it can burn the back of the throat. Yes, it is acidic, but apple cider vinegar is extremely good. Chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy. For people who don't know that, but we're dealing with the myelin sheath. The myelin sheath is a covering of the nerve roots, and this is demyelinating condition where the sheath becomes kind of like the covering of a wire becomes lost and eaten away, making the nerves react and become a lot more sensitive. You could have burning pain, radiating pain. You could have all kinds of conditions. Now, there is something I am going to mention for any type of neuropathy, if it's diabetic neuropathy, polyneuropathy, or any other kind. The number one thing to do is to reduce inflammation. And that means cutting down your sugars. And if you cut down your sugars, you're going to see a tremendous change. I like black seed oil. Black seed oil has great natural anti-inflammatories, the turmeric, the ginger. Your natural anti-inflammatories are extremely important because you want to reduce inflammation in the body. There are a lot of things that are inflammatory. You can type it in Google because I'll be here all day telling you all the foods, but type in inflammatory foods because a lot of nuts are inflammatory. It's like peanuts are very inflammatory. One of the best nuts, they say, are pistachios. You got the walnuts, your almonds. I always thought were the top of the list, but they're not. Your pecans are up there as well. Now, the almonds are alkaline, but really cut down on those inflammatory foods because that is a big one with a lot of conditions, even people with prostatitis, people with gastritis, and that can really help you out a lot. Okay, let's see what I got here. Inner ear infections. Greg, inner ear infections. How old are you there, Greg? Let's see if I can look out for you here. Tell me how old you are. Just curious. Hi there, Chappy, Happy Chicks. How are you? Can't really see how old you are. I got a lot of things coming through. But inner ear infections, uh, more common in younger children. You don't really see it as much. You see more middle ear, but the inner ear infection, I kind of doubt a lot of them is always inner ear infections. So it's really a hard thing to diagnose. And if a doctor is saying you have an inner ear infection, they put you right on the antibiotic right away, which I'm kind of against. Let's go here. Avi from the Philippines. Let's see here. Greg with the vertigo. Okay, a lot of vertigo comes from behind the skull. There are different kinds of vertigo. There's actually cervicogenic, coming from the back of the neck when the muscles are real tight. If you're spending a lot of time in a forward head posture, those muscles are contracting under the skull. They affect over the head behind the eyes. If you try putting an ice pack underneath the back of the skull and it seems to help your vertigo, then you know it's related to the nerves and the muscles. There are different kinds of vertigo. For example, if I turn my head a certain way, the inner labyrinth of the inner ear, you have crystals that can develop in there. You can look at Epley's maneuver. Epley's maneuver, you can type it in, but those are the main things. Tingling in your feet. Stephanie, how are you? Tingling in your feet, commonly seen with diabetic neuropathy, although it can come from sciatica or problems in the lower back. Uh, Areas where the nerves are becoming inflamed and irritated. Try to, if you do not have diabetes or high sugar, try to do piriformis stretches. Piriformis stretches, those are great stretches to help relieve pressure off the sciatic nerve. They're very safe. Pigeon toe stretches. Okay, hopefully you heard me. Pigeon toe stretches. Those are excellent as well. Dangers of forward head posture. Wow, wow, wow. You don't want me to get going on that. I got a lot of great videos on forward head posture. You can check it out here on YouTube. Just type in motivational doc and forward head posture. While we're on that topic, a lot of people see tinnitus as well. Tinnitus comes from forward head posture. Hello there, Australia. Um, let's just show you a couple quick little things because this is really important. We spend so much time on our smartphone like this. Okay, just look here. This is interesting. If your ear is in line with your shoulder, we have normal balance. Our head weighs 12 pounds. Chin tucks are an excellent exercise. You can even take your hands, put it behind your head, jut your chin in, and just push straight back like this. Relax, straight back. Don't extend back, just straight back. And you'll hold it just like this. You'll do a bunch of those sets of 12, a couple sets. Do those every day. The other thing you can do that's great is you can take your hands. Do this with me, everyone. Okay, take your hands, take the heels of your hands, put it right on your clavicle, your collarbone like this. What I want you to do is push it in and down and look up slowly. As you look up, you'll feel all these anterior muscles stretch. Nice burning. That's a great stretch for forward head posture because these muscles are extremely weak and they're tight. Start doing that stretch. When you do that, you'll say, wow, I never knew those muscles can stretch. That will make a big, big change. The other thing with forward head posture, try to get more into the habit of jutting the chin down rather than flexing your head. Watch here. Okay, I'm looking down. So instead of me doing this, what most people do, watch me. My ears stay in line, just like this. So it's kind of like the yes. You with me? Just the yes, just like this. It makes a big difference. Now, if you look at the biomechanics of forward head posture, our head weighs 12 pounds. So for every inch we go forward, now watch here. For every inch we go forward, 1 inch is 10 more pounds, 22 pounds. 2 inches, 32 pounds. 3 inches, 42 pounds. This is where spinal degeneration starts to accelerate. This is where we degenerate discs. This is where we start developing herniated discs and bulging discs and spinal arthritis. A lot of people who develop a lot of conditions in their neck, when they go to the doctor, they are already advanced because having spinal degeneration in your neck is like having high blood pressure that's silent, like having cancer or even diabetes. It's silent until the end phases, till the tip of the iceberg comes up, and now you start developing, or now you have from what you were developing in the past. So the reason why we like to teach people early, because as I say, as a twig is bent, so grows the tree. So we want to correct things earlier because once things start to happen, it's done. Degeneration doesn't repair. It's like a bald tire. You can't fix a bald tire. You have to change it. I saw C5, C6 disc herniation. All right. Same thing. C5, C6 disc herniation, chin tucks, stretch anterior neck, rhomboid strengthening, the muscles between the shoulder blades. Okay, you can grab a little towel and you pinch the shoulder blades together, pinch them. They have different machines and exercise you can use. You pinch it back because you want to strengthen those rhomboids. Those rhomboids is what keeps the shoulders back. And when the rhomboids get weak, what happens? Watch my shoulders. They pronate. Let's watch again. Strong rhomboids, weak rhomboids. Okay. One other big tip I'm going to give you. All right. Most of us are sitting right now, correct? I'm sure most of us are sitting. Now, this is a lumbar pillow. This lumbar pillow, or you can use a rolled up towel or a little pillow if you have it. Put it behind the small of your lower back. Now watch this trick. This is if anything you learn tonight, it's going to be very helpful. If you don't have anything behind your back, your pelvic rotates backwards. When it rotates backwards, the lower back becomes a little kyphotic. You lose the curve, it rounds. Watch. So I don't have a pillow. My pelvic rotate backwards. So right now, my low back, the curve is like doing this. Okay, it's coming out. Now, when this happens, my shoulders go forward. Okay? You know, when we say you bite the back of a dog's tail, he barks out of his mouth. Well, when you have a strong core and you take care of your lower back, it helps your neck. So as I put this behind my back again, what this does, this supports and takes up the gap in the lower back. And what this does, it brings my shoulders back. So to help any type of neck condition, you must have a support in your lower back, okay, to help your neck that will keep your shoulders back. This is called pronation, rounded shoulders, okay? This is retraction, when you retract back, and it's extremely important. By the way, if you are a new chatter here, I invite you to please, definitely, I invite you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Why? Because I got a lot of great information for you, and it's strictly out of love. Strictly out of love. And education is power. And I got a lot of great self-help videos with the brain, with the body, with nutrition. And I hope you enjoy the channel. Feel free to share it. And I hope that you can share it with your family and help your family as well. Okay, let's go to barley greens. Don Burr, how you doing there, Don? Barley is excellent. Barley greens, good, excellent. Now you notice greens. Let me tell you what greens are about. Greens are alkaline. When I think greens, I think of spirulina. I think of like the wheatgrass. I think of these alkaline. I think of vegetables, green vegetables. But when we're looking at the greens, barley greens, spirulinas, all of these strong antioxidant, strong alkaline foods, they're very healthy for you. There's lots of powders out there, and people have their different remedies and how they eat it. But I'm a big believer in that. If you look in my kitchen, you'll see all kinds of different greens, and I'm a big believer in that. So yeah, I think the greens are great. It's the way to go. I think it's great for your gastrointestinal system. It's great for your cells. It's a great cleanser. But you can never go wrong with greens because you're going to get a lot of healthy nutrients and a lot of great antioxidants from that. Let's see what else. Take a few more questions before we say goodbye. Let's see here. You can throw me a couple of your questions out there. Let's see. God, you're moving so quick here. Occipital neuralgia. I want to just mention that for a second. Occipital neuralgia. People having problems underneath the skull. This area, these nerves under here, you have the greater occipital nerve root, the lesser occipital nerve root. They go over the head behind the eyes. How many of you get headaches? If you're getting headaches or pressure in here, or even tinnitus in the ears, or maybe even that vertigo, A lot of that comes from right underneath the skull. Another thing, if you're having occipital neuralgia, any problems up here, try a little trick for me. Start stretching your SCM muscles. You have a lot of trigger points along these muscles here. If you turn, see that muscle stick out? If I turn the other way, okay, that muscle goes from the mastoid process. It goes to the sternum and the clavicle, comes like this, goes like this, and branches out. Stretch these SCM muscles. It can really make a huge difference for a lot of neurological changes that you're having. The key thing with people who have symptoms up in the head, it's a very, very complex area. People think, hey, listen, I have pain here. Your problem here can be coming from here. Your vision can be coming from here. Your tinnitus or ringing problems in your ears can be coming from back in the neck. Problems in your neck can be coming from your TMJ. So the biggest issue with doctors is that they're always trying to locate the source and putting the cause and the symptom together at the site. That doesn't always work that way. And that's where you need a good diagnostician. It's really hard for me to do it on the ear. Okay, so last thing I want to mention is gas and intestinal growling, because I did a video tonight, finished it up. I'll post it in the morning. It's on cucumbers. How many of you like cucumbers? Let me see some thumbs up. Cucumbers. Well, cucumbers are extremely good for you when it comes to your intestines. The fiber is good for the intestine. The fiber, the cucumber gets rid of lots of, it's a cleanser. It's an anti-inflammatory. It gets rid of a lot of the gas. It will help your peristalsis. Cucumber actually lower cholesterol levels for those who have high cholesterol, bad cholesterol. It lowers triglycerides, lowers blood pressure. It hydrates you. Cucumbers are really healthy for you. And I've got a lot of things I'm going to come out because how cucumbers really help me. That's what the video is on. It's yeah, I think you'll like it. But intestinal gas, there's a few things I want to mention to you. Those who eat a lot of beans, certain foods in the bean category, lentils, too much of that, drinking too much with your meals, mixing your meals incorrectly. Okay, in other words, you're between your acid foods and your proteins and your carbs and your fats, you're just mixing too much. They say regarding fruits, it's not good to eat too many fruits with your foods. It's always good to eat fruits by themselves. So you need to be real careful. But the biggest problem with gas that I see, that the majority of people who have it, is drinking too much with your meal. Because what you're doing is you have digestive enzymes. Those digestive enzymes are there to help digest your proteins, your fats, and and your carbs. And if you're drinking too much and you're diluting those enzymes, those foods are never really being broken down. So by the time they reach the intestines, it's going to give off, it's going to ferment, it's going to give off a lot of gas. Those people who have gas, there's a couple of things that I would recommend. Number one, I think taking digestive enzymes, because as we get older, our digestive enzymes are a lot weaker as when we're younger. So digestive enzymes may do the job. I would get a good, well-balanced digestive enzymes. There are many different ones out there. They're very inexpensive, but they can do wonders for you. Having gas is not a fun thing, particularly when you get that bloatiness and that distension. But another thing that can give you too much gas, if you're eating too much fiber at one time. Okay, so look at your cereals, your brands. Those will give you lots of gas. And believe it or not, another thing that will give you lots of gas, okay, is too much garlic. All right, I can promise you on that one. I'm a big garlic guy. But too much garlic at one time will definitely give you lots of gas. So the first thing you need to do when you have this gas or you have these problems, look at the food you're eating and then cut the quantity out and then monitor and say, you know what? That wasn't so bad. Then you can pretty much diagnose it yourself because of the fact that there are many things that cause gas. So the best way, as I tell someone, if you want to lose weight, the best way to lose weight is cut your meals in half. Well, the best way to diagnose a problem is cut back what you're putting in so you can figure out what you're doing. And if you're having, interactions of different medications you're taking and different nutrients that you're taking, you need to cut back a little bit and start implementing little by little because herbs have serious side effects. I mean, I'm a big herb guy. When it comes to herbs, I'm a huge believer in herbs, and I take herbs every day. But sometimes when we take too much, all right, it can cause side effects to our body. It can affect other nutrients, other vitamins, other minerals, other micro minerals from assimilating correctly. And as a result of this, this can actually cause this distension. This can cause other issues. Now, another thing besides gastrointestinal issues when it comes to distension is too much sodium. And many of you will say, well, I don't add sodium to my food. But if you knew what you're eating and you read those packages of those frozen foods or boxed foods or canned foods, there's tons of sodium in there. And for a lot of us, we can assimilate sodium pretty easy. But here's one big tip for you. If you are bloated a lot, all right, the worst thing that one can do when you're bloated, because everyone gets bloated sometime or another, the worst thing that we can do is not drink enough water. And you're thinking, well, I'm bloated. If I drink more water, I'm going to get more bloated. No, if you drink more water, you're going to flush out that extra sodium. Another trick you can do, and I talked about this briefly with cucumbers or any high food that has a lot of potassium, like avocados or any high potassium food, is by eating more potassium will get rid of bloatiness because the high potassium will make that excessive sodium excrete out of the cells and excrete it out of the urinary tract system. So adding potassium can do wonders for you as well. Okay, so anyways, it's a pleasure being here with you. I just wanted to be here and talk a little bit about COVID, and I really appreciate you giving the love out here. We've got almost 600 people in the chat room, and I will come back in the evening time because if I know that you're here out there, I'm going to come back and visit you and share the love with you. But anyways, if you haven't tuned in or subscribed to my channel, please do so because I want you there. I want to see you healthy. I want to see your family healthy, and hopefully the education that we can communicate here, as well as by you being in the chat room and communicating with other people, we all can learn our share because I can learn a lot from people out there like you, as well as others throughout this world. Because we may know a lot in our own fields, but there are many things we can learn from each other, and that's why we're here to share, and that's what it's all about. If you can give me a thumbs up if you heard everything I said, if you enjoyed the program. If you'd like me to come back and do this more often for you, go ahead and give me a thumbs up because we did this on our last program the other day. And this is kind of cool when I look at the screen. Let me just see those thumbs up. There you go. That's the cool thing when I could see them all rocking and rolling. Thank you so much. I love to see that. It makes me feel real good. That means we were productive together. We're all productive. Beautiful. That looks beautiful. The different colors, different emblems. You guys are beautiful. I want to say many blessings to you, your family, your loved ones. Thank you so much for coming out here with me. It means a lot to me, and I will be back with you. You take care now and keep up the great work. Be safe out there, and we'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye now.